I understand that this is not something that a lot of people get on YouTube and seek out. It's not something that people talk about an awful lot. Just as an aside, I've had two strokes. The first stroke that I had, I could not understand what did this to me. It was. I'm not sure if I had never really thought about strokes, or I know I've had family members who've had strokes, but just the overall the idea that this had happened to me, it just was so confusing, and I just I remember asking, what did this to me? Why am I like this now? And it was really a confusing time. And fortunately, I had people around me who were kind enough to help me out, and it's been a life changer. And I wish that it hadn't. I would really like to go back to the way things used to be, and I can't. I'm not the same person, and I have a really hard time. I have a hard time accepting the limitations that are as a result of what's happened to me, and so but I really wish that things had not changed. The outcome of the second stroke was I got a do-over, a mulligan. The day of my second stroke, I went with my family and one of our good friends. We went to the zoo, and I can remember parts of that trip to the zoo, and I don't remember a lot after that, except I do remember the moments when it was happening. I remember that I realized what was happening, and that I couldn't control anything. I realize a lot of people, there's got to be a lot of people that were like me, and they don't think about strokes, and they don't think about the fact that their family members could be facing this at some point in time, and they need to have at least some kind of plan, a strategy for getting them to medical professionals who are able to do their best. I mean, they may not save you, but to do their best and try to save you, to try to get you as much of you as they can back. And sometimes sometimes that doesn't help. Sometimes there's nothing that can be done. But it's important to try. I mean, those around you. I was very fortunate because I felt really at peace with the whole process of what was potentially going to happen. I mean, I was okay with it, but those around me were not ready, and that's not something that they. You don't want others to face that, but you want to try, that's just human nature. You want to try. And I think if you know a little bit about strokes, a little bit about the treatment, the life-saving treatments that are available, you know about the time frame, because these things, time is the enemy, because you're starving the cells in your head, the things that you use in your brain to think or to see. In my case, you are starving them, and if you don't get the oxygen back to those cells, they will die, and that's not the outcome that you want to have happen. So I hope you don't have this happen to you, but if you do, it's good to recognize that this might be a stroke. I mean, this symptoms might be a stroke, and it's something that you want to have assessed by professionals.